Welcome back to Online Darts, everyone, and we are joined by Joe Cullen. Joe, thanks for joining us. We're still in Zoom, we're still in lockdown, but how's things with you?
Yeah, it's been good, mate. I've enjoyed the time off after the World. You know, it's nice to have a bit of family time because it was pretty full on towards the end of the year. So it's been nice to unwind and, you know, not concentrate on darts for a bit, but being back practicing now a couple of weeks, and I can't wait for the Masters this weekend.
We know you moved house as well last year. Everything now sorted, decorated, how you want it all?
Nearly there. The last thing now is the darts room. At the minute, I'm a bit like a child again. My dartboard's in my bedroom while the extension's being done. So yeah, hopefully a couple more weeks and the house will be done then. So yeah, looking up.
Yeah, we saw the pictures you put on Instagram of that. It looks like it's going to be the ultimate man cave stroke darts room, that one.
Yeah. Well, I've gone for the purpose-built one as opposed to the cabin/shed. So there'll be no water getting in this one.
Does that show how far you've come as well? Because remember, like you've always said that you're one of the worst practicers, don't like to practice. But now that you're actually thinking of this and putting the hours in and making sure you've got an environment to do it, shows how far you've come.
Yeah, to be honest, mate, the money helps as well. You know, you've got to be doing well to be able to pay for luxuries like that, which luckily I am. But yeah, I've practiced, I think, well the last couple of years. It was more the start of my career where I was a bit lazy and sort of the middle part as well. But of late, I've been pretty decent, to be fair. And I think the results have shown as well.
100%, and we're going to touch on that. Looking back on 2020 as a whole, how would you reflect on your year?
Probably the best I've had, to be fair. TV wise, definitely. And a big thing for me as well, I didn't want to have a decent year on TV and not pick up any wins. Luckily, I picked up 2 tournament wins. You know, one big one on the stage and a Pro Tour, which is, as you know, just as difficult to win. So it's really pleasing to get a couple of titles under my belt to sort of cement the year, and obviously a half decent run at the Worlds as well.
Touch on that in a minute, but different pressures that you faced in 2020 as well, going into the European Championships as the #1 seed, and you said that it affected you a little bit. Is that something that you've learned from?
Oh, well, I won't know until I'm #1 seed again. But yeah, it did. It was something that I never thought of. I'd never been in that position before, and I just couldn't settle when I got there. I was just really on edge. It was weird because even Willie didn't play great at all, but I just felt on edge and not at ease with my game, which isn't good, especially on the stage.
2 massive plus points that you ticked off this year or last year. First of all, Grand Slam debut, finally did it, and the curse of the Worlds has gone. You went to Ali Pali, won, and played some good stuff along the way as well. So that must be pleasing for both of them as well.
Yeah, well, the Grand Slam obviously didn't pan out the way I hoped it had, but I've played in it now, so you know we'll go again this year, and you know I've no doubt that I'll be in it again this year. And in regards to the Worlds, I think I had a steady draw. To be fair, like I said, I've said in previous interviews, no disrespect to Wayne, but Wayne's not the force that he once was, which is good for me. But I think that eased me in. I think the 3-0 win, as opposed to say a 3-2 win and just scraping over, it just made you relax that a little bit more. And then obviously playing a good friend in Johnny was difficult, but I managed to get through that one as well. And didn't go my way for the in the last 16 against Michael, but I'm sure my the way the game went, I think my stock's risen a little bit, maybe just because of the nature of the game. So you know, it still hurts when I sit down and think about it now, but you know, I've definitely plenty of positives to take from that. Yeah,
I was 100%. Your stock's risen. That social media was absolutely buzzing during that game. Obviously, I know you can't see it, but MVG Cullen was trending. Stars, not just sporting stars, just pop stars, movie stars, were tweeting, they were watching. What a great game. And I know at the end that you looked absolutely devastated, but when you look back, can you take lots of positives from the performance?
Yeah, I think I learned from that, to be honest. Excuse me. I think I learned from that at the last leg. You know, the majority, probably 99% of the comments I saw, like you say, on social media was positive, you know, great game. But you get the odd one, or you bottled it, you've this, you've that. And I've spoken to people close to me, and I've bottled games in the past. You know, I think every professional has, whether they admit it or not. And I didn't bottle it. I probably tried too hard. I sort of thought to myself, I've been on the stage for best part of 2 hours, throwing everything at him, and he's still there. Don't blow it. But by putting that sort of element of doubt in your mind, don't blow it. It makes you maybe tense up a little bit. And obviously, Michael, his first 3 darts at that last leg was a 180, so you're straight under it then. But like you say, the interaction it got on social media, and the couple of good things have happened to me since then, like additional sponsors and things like that. So yeah, there's definitely plenty of positives.
I know a lot of players are saying around Michael that the fear factor's gone, but when you're in that game with him, his last leg winning percentages through the roof. Is that something that you think about, knowing how good he is in a last leg as well, or not? Or do you not think about things like that in the moment?
No, I didn't think about that. I think there's only one place where I have thought about that. It didn't actually affect me. It was when, I think it was the last leg decided on the European tour. Michael had won something like 30 on the trot, something like that, which was every time then when he went to a last leg decider, you're in the practice room, thinking, oh, he'll get the job done again. But no, I was comfortable with my game, and like I say, I think if I'd have started off with even a ton, just to put a treble in there, but I started off not great, and he punished me, which is why he was number one, not his number one.
Do you agree with players that when they say the fear factor isn't there anymore around Michael?
It's not so much a fear factor. I think if you let Michael play and you don't settle early enough, he'll just walk all over you, which is he's made a living off that for the last probably 5, 6, 7 years. But if you can match him early doors and put him under pressure, we're all susceptible to pressure. So there's no reason that he's any different. But I think a good start is key against Michael. I don't think whether it be set play or leg play. I think if you give him any sort of lead, then you're fighting a losing battle there.
Like you said earlier, coming back refreshed, looking at the new season, and that starts this weekend in the Masters. Stephen Bunting, the pair of you both had good World Championships. Looking forward to that battle in the opening round.
Yeah, well, it was a weird one. I actually spoke to Webby about it. I don't really watch the darts if I'm not in it, but I watched the Gerwyn Price and Stephen Bunting semi-final because as far as I was aware, I needed Gerwyn to beat Stephen, so I was then in the Masters, to maintain the top 16 spot. Sorry.
That's right.
But I didn't know it was going to go to 24, which was a shock to me. But it is what it is. Personally, I think the Masters should stay 16. I think it should be the same as the snooker, but I can totally understand why they've enhanced it to 24 with the way things are. It's more coverage, it's more players. So yeah, it's the same for us all. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Friday night.
A little bit of extra pressure on this year's Masters going to 24 as well, with the carrot that's been dangled about this hallowed 10th spot in the Premier League. Is it something that's crossed your mind?
Yeah, it's crossed my mind, but I think in the past where I've maybe thought I've got half a chance, I've dwelled on it and I've not performed like I should. So if I get in, amazing. If I don't get in, I will get in, whether it be next year, the year after that. It doesn't matter. I will get in. I'm not dwelling on it or trying not to dwell on it, but I think it'll be interesting to see how people approach the Masters with that there, and whether the Premier League goes ahead when scheduled. Because if it doesn't, again, this discussion will be had about the UK Open. If somebody goes and performs at the UK Open, they could possibly be in. So I think everyone's a little bit in the dark, including probably the PDC, who are picking them, because they don't know, when things are going to be back to normal and things like that. So, if I have a good run, hopefully I can't be overlooked, rather than will be overlooked. Hopefully I can make it so they can't overlook me. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah.
In your head, have you put any round that you think you need to get to force your way into that spot?
No, not necessarily. If you're picking sort of the players who are in the Masters who are in with a chance, if I go one round further than the other, say 3 or 4, however many it is, then I've done better than them, so to speak. But that's not how it works. I think the PDC look at the appeal that different players bring and will bring to the Premier League. I think this year has been a bit different. I think there's been players that maybe the PDC would have liked to have left out, but can't because of whether it be something they've won, where they're ranked, anything like that. I think the 9 spots were absolutely nailed on, whereas normally, you see social media and people are arguing about the last 2-3 spots. It could be these, it could be them.
Yeah.
I think the 9 that are picked, you had to pick them. So, it's been a bit more difficult this year.
Yeah, and 100% I agree on that. That we were chatting finals night of the Worlds, and the 9 were easy. It was just that one. And as a player, do you quite like the fact that they've rolled it over and not picked all 10 straight away, or do you think it's like, oh, I don't know?
Yeah, well, as long as you're in with a chance of possibly getting in, it can only be a good thing for people like like myself, like Chizzy, like the other contenders that have been touted. So it can only be a good thing that you're still in the mix rather than not in the mix.
Yeah. Bubble life again returns this weekend, and especially when you guys were at the Rico, we were hearing the stories of the table tennis and you and Michael Smith about the rugby league, about how you walked out and wouldn't speak to him.
Yeah.
Is that important when you're in that bubble, that you've got other things to take your mind off of being in that bubble?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a masterstroke from the PDC, putting a thing like ping pong table, pool table, thing like that, just somewhere to sort of unwind. We're all obviously negative tested, so I think we still obtained what we had to obtain, but I think it was a masterstroke. It was just nice to have some downtime, with people you get along with. And yeah, to be honest, it's been nice for me. We're allowed one guest who obviously gets tested as well. So the last few tournaments I've been taking my dad with me, and my dad's not really had much opportunity to travel about with me, so it's been good that way for me as well. To spend some decent time with my dad as well.
PDC announced the UK Open going to be behind closed doors at Milton Keynes. As a player, is it important to know the dates of these tournaments, whether it's behind closed doors or not, so you've got something to focus on? Because there's no calendar for the rest of the year or anything yet, which is understandable because they don't know what's going on. But the fact that you've got a major to shoot at as well, is that important for you?
I think under normal circumstances, you like to know when everything is, obviously you can plan things around it, but the way things are, I think every player is just accepting that things will change, not might change. They're changing on a weekly basis, whether it be within sport or whether it be in government. So, to an extent, the PDC's hands are tied. Hopefully it goes ahead when it's supposed to go ahead, but if it doesn't, I'm sure that every player's prepared for that outcome as well.
And again, nothing the PDC can do in the terms of the qualification criteria. But with no amateur element to the UK Open this year, does it lose a little bit of its gloss, like the magic of the FA Cup of Darts and everything like that?
Possibly slightly, but I think it does as well. It'll be interesting to see how the PDC do it, to be honest, within the venue. So obviously there's normally 8 boards, so it will be interesting to see how it goes. But we have played it behind closed doors once, obviously when the snow hit that time. But yeah, maybe the amateur, it's the unlikely hero, if you like, that comes through the field. But there's either way, there's going to be 128 quality players there, so I'm sure it'll make for good viewing.
Just touching on what you said there about the makeup, would you like to see it return to the old Reebok style, where
I love the Reebok
in one room, where you've got stage 1 up there, stage 2 to the right, and then the 8 boards across the back?
Yeah, but that's just testament to the PDC and how they've grown the game, because the Reebok was amazing. I love the Reebok. It was my first ever TV tournament, and the balcony was sort of on the top, and you could see exactly what was going on. You could see when people have won, lost. It was brilliant. I loved it, but the reality of it is the tournament outgrew the venue. They just couldn't. There was such demand for the fans to be there. And the amount of fans that I think Minehead's great substitute. It's one of my favourite tournaments, Minehead. So it'll be sad to see it in Milton Keynes, but again, just thankful it's going to be on.
And again, the rest of the 2021, have you set yourself any individual targets, goals that you want to hit this year?
Not necessarily goals. I just want to keep winning. There's no feeling like winning, whether it be like say a Pro Tour, European Tour, or hopefully I managed to get a major this year. But just keep winning and keep progressing. And people obsessed with the rankings, what they defending from 2 years ago, and even on the 1 year ranking. And it's just not healthy to have that outlook, I don't think. If you're doing well in the TV events and getting to the latter end of tournaments, winning tournaments, then the rankings will take care of themselves. So, like I say, hopefully they have a good start to the year and, you know, start well on the TV and rocket up the rankings, hopefully.
Changing away from darts, your beloved Manchester United causing all kinds of hysteria in the Premier League. Do you believe you can go on and win the title for the first time since Sir Alex?
Oh, yeah, I hope so. It'd be good, wouldn't it? I spoke about it with my son, because my son, he's like 12, so he's the first sort of 5 years of his life where United was half decent. He really didn't see it, but he's looking at it now and he's getting excited about it. And the thing is, the season's so strange, isn't it? You know, obviously with the no fans, and I just, I think if anything happens to Bruno, I think we'll struggle, to be honest. I think if he carries on the way he's going and, you know, United carry on, then there's no reason why we can't. I think it might be a similar season to Leicester. No one really thought Leicester was going to win. They thought, oh, they'll tail off. You know, the form will drop. But the closer to the end of the season they got, everyone was like, oh, you know, they're going to win it. So hopefully that happens this year with United. But I think City are looking strong as well. So I think they're the team to beat.
We know that you enjoy some banter with the Liverpool fans, especially Johnny. Did you drop him a message after the FA Cup win?
No, Johnny, he's not even a Liverpool fan, I don't think. He probably wouldn't have known he was playing. You know, the amount of times I get stupid messages from him. In fact, while we was warming up for the game at the Worlds, he was I was this side of the practice room, he was that side, and my phone buzzed, so I looked at my phone and he said, "Have you seen the news, pal? Rashford's just signed for Liverpool." And, you know, it's just he has no idea about football. Anything to do with egg chasing, he's all right.
Well, to be fair, that says it all. We spoke to Johnny the other day, and Webby tipped me off. He didn't even know he was in the Masters until Webby told him 10 days ago.
Yeah, I did. Well, you've seen him, haven't you? So, you know, he's not the brightest.
Joe, absolute pleasure talking to you, mate. Thank you very much. I know you've got some stuff to do today, mate. Massively appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, Phil. Good to talk to you, pal.